within like 10 days, I can do magic, man. I can look like a different person.
Yeah.
So I would redo this protocol in February or in March when I came back to Thailand, and I'm like,
Do you find that like you're doing that obviously partially to avoid injury, but do you think that also impacted your results? Like, have you found any difference in your ability to pack on size from going from like heavy lower rep to like higher rep lower weight kind of thing? Or what do you think on that?
it's a so-so. It needs to be heavy enough, but it doesn't need to be too crazy heavy. Because when I think about when I was with Kai Green in India for like, we've been there for like 1.5 months
Yeah.
or 2 months almost. And I would see him training every day, and I would see what weight he's using. And he would train with very light weights, but he would train like, he would have very high intensity and volume, but less heavy weights.
Do you think he can maintain with less though? Like, do you think he built his physique doing it like that? Or do you think he built all of his size going heavy and now he just maintains it with lighter weights? That's what I would wonder.
I believe that mind muscle connection is a big part in how well your muscles are getting developed. And that is that say over many years, even you're training for 20 years, you are still improving this mind muscle connection every time. And I just believe at a certain point, you are just getting there and you are improving so much. And then you just reach kind of like your potential. You eventually reach your potential, or you bring in some steroids and then you push it to the next level. But it's definitely, in my opinion, down to mind muscle connection over heavy weights. Because at one point I was always telling myself, I do the perfect form and squeeze and everything how I felt it the best.
Yeah.
Then I increase the weight until I reach the point where I just can't maintain that speed of rev, the time and attention to keep my form on the perfect, right? Everything until this point comes up, I would not increase the weight.
Okay. When you were developing your physique, like I'm assuming now you're more like, it seems like your physique has developed a lot like over the past few years, but then like, do you think you've sort of plateaued a bit, or do you think like, obviously you got injured recently, so this doesn't count, but I mean like 2020, 2021, before the injury, has your progress started to stall out a bit, or has it been like linear the whole time?
So I have to say that I was looking crazy when I look back on some pictures. It was like, holy moly, how did I even do this? And I looked so full and all that stuff. Then I had the hernia surgery, which threw me back. Then then I went off again once in between because of the TRT stuff. And then the main reason was like, I was not finding any gear. And when I was in Germany, this was the reason I went off. And then I had this other injury now. Then I was in Dubai. Then I was, getting distracted. So for me, I think I was looking the best maybe 2020 in February. And since then, it's kind of like this and this and this. But now I'm getting older, and I was never thinking that it's going to be a thing. I was like, yeah, you're young and fresh, right? So
yeah,
I was always dieting to a certain point. So I had my protocol, like how to get in shape like crazy, right? So I have this hardcore protocol, which I would do maybe 2,000 calories, twice a day cardio and all that, and fuck me up and just push it. And within like 10 days, I can do magic, man. I can look like a different person.
Yeah.
So I would redo this protocol in February or in March when I came back to Thailand. And I'm like, I'm so far in the diet already, and I'm doing this and I'm pushing so hard, but the changes won't come that fast like before. And I'm like, my abs are just not getting dry as before, like as quick and all that stuff. And I'm just like, maybe my metabolism slowed down, and or maybe I'm getting older and just things not working that smoothly anymore. Or maybe once you put the fat back on, it's getting harder to get rid of it again.
Interesting. Are you like satisfied?
So, and then the next thing is
with like your size now, or once you get back from the injury, are you just going to go back to the whole like staying shredded year round thing, or like what's your plan on that?
The thing is, like with me, to be honest, what should I do? I could now say I was injured, so maybe now I bring in some, like whatever I take more gear, right? And I'm just, because I see people that compete and I see there's pictures and they competing and how crazy they look. And I'm just like, oh my God, like I also look crazy, but not this kind of crazy. And just like, but I also need to say, I'm not using all these things that they're using. I'm just not punishing my body to that extent. So I have to be okay to be maybe less full, because there's always a sacrifice. Either you are full or you are shredded, and you cannot really be full and shredded beside you taking whatever Winstrol and all that stuff. You know that there's steroids that can make you like a superhuman. Mm-hmm. And as I'm not using these, when I'm then dieting, I'm getting flat and I'm just looking skinny, man. I really feel skinny. And then it always goes down, 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 down. I really feel skinny. And then once the fat is gone, you look more ripped again. And then you feel better because you look, even you are skinnier, but you are just look more dry, which makes you look more heavy again.
Right. Okay.
So as the moment when the cuts come out, it doesn't matter. Let's say I'm shredded with 100 kg or I'm shredded with 90 kg, it would pretty much look similar, and you wouldn't on the videos also wouldn't be able to see it that much.
Okay. So after
because like once you're
go ahead.
Once you're shredded, you still look you still look big. Let's say if you're 100 kg bulking, or you're 100 kg shredded, the guy with 100 kg shredded looks like 120 already.
Right.
But the 100 kg guy who's bulking looks like maybe he's 95. But so the more defined you are, the more heavy you look.
Right. Recently, you posted a snap. It was either a Snapchat or an Instagram story, and it was showing like your peak natural physique. Do you know what you weighed in that picture versus like you say now you're shredded like 100 kg?
Yeah.
What were you at the?
It was back in the days. The goal was always